Kindly confirm my audio is good for you.
Yes, Sri.
Fantastic. And thanks a lot for joining here. I have some good news as well as some more information for PMP. Recently, have few people cleared the exam in the last week. And again, I heard the same term, the exam was moderate. However, there was a topic about the time management. People who went to the exam felt that time is very crucial. Any one of you felt that when you are answering 60 questions exam or 180 questions exam, time is chasing you? You felt that?
Not in 180 question, but in 40 questions.
Okay. What was the challenge there?
In 180 question, I was able to complete it with spare time of 30 minutes. But at 40 questions, I was like edge to edge, like last minute and last question.
Which means in 180, your performance was in control. Okay, is it good news? Okay. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that feedback. Why I brought that point today here is time management getting crucial. At the same time, I want to pass this message. When you go to the main exam, there are chances last 10, 15 minutes, you will solve maybe 20 questions at times, which is highly possible. So there was one of the person who went to the exam, asked this question: if I miss a couple of questions not answered, will it impact my result? Now I'm going to put this to you. Do you think there'll be impact if you miss a couple of questions? Do you think there'll be result impact if you miss a couple of questions?
It depends actually.
Okay.
If previous question have been answered, if you are confident that you have answered correctly, then it won't impact much. But if bad previous question, then it will
impact. Okay. Okay. So answer everyone. Thanks a lot, Ranjan, for that. Answer to everyone here. You will not have a direct impact. The reason is I have some scenarios where people missed a few questions. Since there is no negative marking, since PMI is not so particular that you have to answer 180 questions. Of course, it shows our poor time management. But there are people who missed 8 questions. I even have one person who missed 18 questions. Still cleared the exam. So you mean, Shri, I can't do this? I would say no, don't do that. But the worst case, if your time is running out, I would say don't get scared. That's a message. However, while we are practicing here, we are working to tune it. 10 questions, question paper, 40, 60, 180. Why we have all these segments is to step-by-step tune it. If I heard right now from Niranjan, I was hearing that 180 questions I was able to do in time, whereas 40 questions not working. So it can happen vice versa also. So today's topic is I want to bring out this: be watchful on time management. Now, how to improve this? There are two varieties of people. One who read super fast, but the content is not understood. So they read it at least 2 times or 3 times the same question. There are some people who read, but the text does not get to their mind, because in our brain we have this called Google Translator. The translator has to translate that particular English word, the vocabulary, to your understanding terminology, which could take some time. So how to improve this? I should have given this answer sometime back. Do anyone know how to improve a reading ability for PME question? Any tips here? What can be done so that our reading ability will improve?
We need to search for the tense.
Okay, very good.
Important
Appreciate it.
Important words that is affecting.
To whom is the question addressed to?
Fantastic. So first thing I heard is tense, past, present, and future. Even today in your office email, if you read the email understanding the perfect tense, you can answer the email perfectly. But see, you mean that I don't know the grammar? You mean that I'm not aware of the tense? Do you mean I'm a dump? That's not the meaning. The meaning here is when you are in urgency, when you are in pressure, sometimes we miss that particular word, which will twist the whole answer. So tense is pretty important, that too in management. That is why the political parties, when they talk in parliament or they talk in a press meet, they'll be very careful because tense, the way you say is important because that will come in magazine or papers the next day morning in a different way. You have to be very careful. So tense is very important in management. Well said. And I heard from Poonam that. What did you say, Poonam?
Shri, I said that we need to understand that to whom the question is addressed to. Like,
why it's important to whom? Because it's a management, right? Anyone can answer it.
sorry, I didn't understand your question.
So I like the topic, what you said. I'm just trying to dig more into that. Let's say who the question is pointing to. Why it is very important that we have to know whom the question is pointing to.
Because then that will drive the thought process and the solution and hence the answer. Like if the question is addressed to what the project manager should do, or the question is like what the team member should do, or what, so it'll help the thought process as to how we have to arrive at the correct answer.
Yeah, that's perfectly well said. This is what I want as an answer. So whom the question is pointing to, it makes a lot of sense while you answer the exam, because majority of the question looks you as a manager. However, it may put you on a spot, ask what the status of the project right now, or it may ask what the product owner to take a call here, or what the team has to do. So when you know who is being targeted, in what tense, past and present is targeted, now if you are clear about the PM and PO roles as per the PMI, and now you are clear about the 6 constraints in project management. Do anyone remember the 6 constraints of project management?
Yeah.
Scope, schedule,
Cost, resource, quality, risk.
Risk and quality.
Perfect. The first 3 we call as iron triangle: scope, schedule, and cost. Other 3 are risk, resource, and quality. When you have a deeper knowledge in this area, along with this clarity on tense, along with the clarity of who is being targeted, majority of the question you get very closer. And the finishing point is your personal touch. That PMI cannot tell you, that I cannot tell you. It's your own skill set of last final answer selection. That is your instinct. That's your ability of management. So by this, your scores can improve very well. So to give a hint here, to improve the time management, please watch out the tense, watch out who is being targeted, be clear on the glossary from the books of whatever management books you have. The reason is glossary gives you more vocabulary to be clear on the terminology. Amazing. Thanks a lot for everyone, the inputs here. I'm going to bring a question, and after this question, we'll start our conversation. Meantime, if people are going to the exams, put your hands up. I know that you have going to the exam, we'll converse. Right. Are you seeing the screen what I'm sharing now?
Yes, Sri.
Fantastic. Take a few seconds, read this question. Let's talk about the answer. I started getting the answers in the chat box. People can fill in the chat box. What's your answer? Okay. So far, I'm getting A as an answer. Now, I'm straight away going to ask the people from the question, what was the key sentence or the key word? Shri, I don't get your name fully. I see a Shri there, which says A hyphen or dash D. What does it mean? You want to say two answers or one answer?
I feel like two answers.
Two answers, okay. Okay, A dash D. Okay, fine. Let me hold that answer. I see Arun also going with the D. Okay. Fine. What is the keyword in this question?
Insufficient resource available, human resource available.
Fantastic. So there's a scarcity of resource. Your organization has initiated multiple projects. Okay, this is a very common scenario happens during the current financial year, and most of the projects are now struggling. Insufficient human resource. Now, question to you: is it an uncommon situation or a common situation in the corporate? Insufficient human resource.
It's a common.
Very common, right? The moment you read this, you start getting to that question and start to feel that, hey, I have seen this in my office, or I may see this in my office. It's pretty clear. Now, question: is it a past tense or a present tense here? Is it a past, present, or future?
Present.
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 Currently, something's happening. Very good. As a seasoned project management professional, now they're pointing you. They're pointing you as a project manager. How would you advise the management to handle this issue? Now, the question is, how do you advise them? Now, how do you going to advise it? It's definitely happening in the present tense, and you're clear it's pointing you. And now you should have the book knowledge. You should have the current trend in the market, how to handle this situation. Now, I saw answers A, I saw answers at D. I'll start with the D. People who went with the D, why you thought D could be a good answer?
Instead of doing small projects, it's always good to grab few good projects which have good written on.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Return on investment is pretty important. You want to see if I put a 5 million, will I get 7 million? Okay, nice. Is it the only criteria we use to choose a project when we have multiple prioritized projects? Okay, now I go to the people who ask, say A. Why you thought A could be right answer?
Because B and C we can eliminate.
Mm-hmm.
And D, like it is more to do with return on investment, and the management is really struggling with insufficient human resource available. So the logical answer is A, to prioritize project based on business value and resource availability, since we have an insufficient human resource available.
Okay, I'm hearing you. I clearly heard that B and C goes out. The primary reason is one is a smaller projects, one is increase the budget. Both is not the right way of doing this. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, for that reason, we are removing those two answers. So by elimination technique, I heard two answers went out. So that's the reason I saw majority of them choosing A and some of them choosing D also. Now the competition is between, do I need to look out return on investment? Do I need to look out on the business value? In this, which has more importance in the current world of 2023? If you ask me 25 years back, I would be more interested on how much of money is coming back to. But the current trend in the world, more than the money, the word, there is a word which is more powerful. What is that word?
Business value.
Business value.
Value. Value. If there is no value on a Sunday evening 4 p.m., you will not log into the Zoom to watch this Q&A session. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
You are not here just for fun. You are not here because of there is a computer. You are not here, you know Shriram, you don't know ShriLearning. You are not here because you write Rahul. No. If I cannot add even one line of value to you in your life, you won't come here. Still, ROI is important. You cannot ignore it. ROI is underlying water. It will keep running. But on top of that, there should be value. Now, if you read the answer, prioritize the projects based on business value. What do you mean by business value? Business value can be tangible, intangible. Because not all projects are ROI. In your company, there could be a work item which has to improve the process, the way of working. That's also a project. But for that, I'm not expecting ROI. There could be a government organization who want to bring more green revolution in the city or outskirts. That I'm not looking for ROI. Let's say there is a project I shared in the video sometime in the class in Canada. They want to bring out metro construction, metro work. In metro work, the government is not looking for ROI. The government is looking for what value addition you can give to the people. On top of that, you look for the resource availability. Here, when they use the word resource, it's not only human. What all comes in a resource?
People
management.
Three. Yeah, human, material, and
equipment.
Machine.
Fantastic. So when you say business value, there is a high chance it also includes return on investment or internal rate of return or payback period. We call payback period, right? When I give the money, when the money will come back to me. On top of that, what is the value addition of it? If I do this now, what's a business benefit for me? What's a benefit for the customer? So this is what we learn in the agile mindset. So that there is a high chance you may go for the answer A. Now the A here, but Shri, why you took this question? Why are you elaborating this question in this class today? The reason is, when you go to the exam, when you have 180 questions, high chances of see many questions of agile. You will see many questions of hybrid model. When you see these two concepts of questions, look at the word value. Whenever you see the word value, give more importance to that, but don't blindly choose it. There could be some game also, be very careful there. But the word value is more powerful than money. But money is internally built into that, but value is more important. That's what in Agile we learned. Okay, that was a good question. Thanks for the people who answered it. I have a couple of more questions. Before that, what I do is I will attend one person who put the hands up there. Nitish.
Yeah, hi Shriram.
Hey.
Yeah, it's regarding the exam. I have booked my exam for the slot of August 8th. So yesterday I have already chatted with you. So any bullet points or kind of things you'll be sending on?
Yeah. I will do that. Meantime, I want to recall your performance. You did 3 full exams, is that right?
Yeah, correct. I did the 3 mocks in 3 consecutive weeks.
We were in chat yesterday, right?
Yes. Yesterday I have pinged you.
Okay, so how is your time management on the full exams?
Yeah, it's actually good until yesterday. I've been doing on daily basis of 40, 60, and on weekly basis I took 2 mocks, and the time management was quite good. The full mock I used to complete around 3:30 or 3:15. But yesterday the mock was a bit lengthy. The questions, whatever I felt starting from the first question, it was quite lengthy until the 180 questions, and all major was all theoretical questions. So the time management for the last mock was I have left out around 6 or 7 questions. That's it. But otherwise, I feel my time management is quite good.
Okay, so time management, there is no worry. That's clear. Your scores are also clear. August 8th is your exam. Let's see some more parameters. Are you taking off from your work?
No, because I come around 4 by evening. I got enough time. So usually I do some of the 40-60 questions on daily basis.
Nice. Okay. Then I think you're good. 8th is a Tuesday, and Saturday, Sunday you can read. Monday you can do book of French. So are you planning one more full exam?
No, that's what I asked you yesterday. So I feel I have the control over the sitting of 4 hours in one place. So I feel it's 40 and 60 would be sufficient if.
Perfect. Yeah, I think this is what we promised yesterday.
Yeah.
So Nitish, we will go this what we discussed yesterday. Enough with your full exam. I would repeat it not only for Nitish, for everyone here. Full exams are meant to understand how an exam look like. Can I do a proper time management of 60, 60, and 60? If you can do 3, 2, 4 exams and you are stabilized there, I would say stop full exam. Take 60 questions exam. Because sometimes I found people when they answer 180 questions, they get exhausted and the whole day is screwed up. They can't do anything after that. Whereas when they take 60, their brain is fresh. They refresh and come back after 1 hour, they take another exam. That's also a good pattern of preparation, which I found much useful in the recent days. So Nitish will go with this format, do that, and I will share you some bullet points, what you have to read, work out the last 1 week.
Okay, Shri. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Focus. Are you working in agile environment?
No, I am not in agile environment. I work in an aerospace company, which is quite operational, and some kind of projects will be on predictive model. Yeah.
Understood. How is your learning in agile?
Yeah, learning in agile, it's quite good. I'm able to pick it up in the agile environment quite good, because before taking PMI also, I do have many of friends who work in software industries and quite familiar with some of the words with the normal conversations. And when I took up the agile, I was able to correlate it. So it's quite easy for me to understand the terms and how the environment basically with respect to agile. So I was able to pick it up quite quickly.
Are you started liking agile?
Yeah. Frankly speaking, agile looks better than predictive.
Yeah, predictive has a lot of process.
Yeah.
Initially, when start agile, people feel, man, one more process I have to learn. After learning, they feel, wow, that looks easy.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good, Nitish. You're good in shape. I will share you some bullet points. Last 1 week, stay in touch with me. Keep me posted regularly how things are moving.
Okay. Thanks, Sri.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Good. Yes. That is Nitish. I have one more person, Abhinay.
Hi, Shri. Shri, we are already, I'm sharing my status reports with you over WhatsApp.
Yep.
So based on the feedback, I'm going through the people domain and, reading the glossary and, stakeholder and resource chapters. So as you mentioned before, rather than giving, full marks, which I've already, probably 4 full marks I've already given. So currently I'm just going for the 40 and the 61s, and the scores are pretty much, between 65 to 73, something like that, like for both Agile and the PMP one. So it's going on in progress. My exam date is 21st, Shri.
That's the question I want to ask you. I remember the last chat you were working for August 1st, right? You want to find?
Yeah, but I didn't get any slots in Bangalore, for the earlier dates, so I had to go for 21st. Yeah.
Bangalore is so busy.
Not sure.
You guys are writing exam in Bangalore, huh? Okay, so 21st August, that's pretty long time. With your preparation, you're already ready for the exam.
Yeah, I don't want to overdo it as well. So that's the reason I wanted to check with you. Should I take some break, or or continue with the same
No, continue.
pace?
Don't leave the rhythm. It's something like going to gym. If you lose 10 days of time, your body will lose a shape.
Okay.
You have to stay the same. But what we can do is, I remember you took 3 full exams. Is that right?
Four. Yeah.
4 you did. Okay. Then we will hit to one more exam in after 1 week of time.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I remember you want to read the PMO roles. You want to read that.
I'm doing that. Yeah. That I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay. So do that. And one more thing you can do. Go to ShriLearning chapter-wise test.
Doing it. Yeah.
There pick up risk management.
Okay.
Pick up resource and stakeholder.
Okay.
Few 10 questions. Don't overdo. Do few of them. Let's say you do 3 times, 4 times. But the key point is you have to analyze the question.
Right. Yep.
You have to sit and see why it's like why it's not. Because recent days I'm hearing risk management is also shown more importance by PM, the main exam.
Okay.
I know you're focusing on people domain, which is good, but give little importance with the risk also.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, let's maintain this. 21st August. 21st August falls on Monday, so you can work on it and go for exam. Okay, it's good. It's good. You can proceed on, but stay in touch. Don't lose the momentum.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
Fantastic. Great. I have other question to share. Before that, I have Pallavi from South Africa. Am I right, Pallavi?
Hi, Shriram. Yes, Shriram.
Nice.
So we have been discussing on WhatsApp, and I am following up with all the things that you have shared with me, Shriram. So far, but I am very tense in the last few days, Shriram. The most problem, I get anxious. I am getting sweating in my hands. I don't know. It never happened with me, but I don't know what's
the air condition there. By the way, Pallavi, when we chatted last?
I think 2 days back, Shriram.
2 days back we did. Okay. I should have given you some bullet points to work out. Are you able to go through that?
Yes, Shriram. So I am actually giving chapter-wise agile test. Like I've given 6, 7 yesterday. I'm before this class also I was giving. So I'm giving the 10 question exam, 10 question that chapter-wise test. No, I'm giving very frequently, Shriram. Also for the stakeholder and following same thing for the resource. But I'm having a problem with the quality and the risk. A lot of questions from the previous mocks were on these two. I scored, like I can say, not even 5% of the questions from these two.
Analyze what you found out there. What was pulling you down?
It's the for me, I think I'm not memorizing the concepts. For example, if it is qualitative, or I'm getting confused between what is qualitative and quantitative, because I've not really worked on those levels of analysis of risk. I would say I've never been in that position myself. So basically I have to remember those things. So I realize that I'm making notes, writing the things. Since exam near, Shriram, it's 11th of August.
Booking. Did we spoke about the exam booking already? 11th of August. You did it already. Oh yeah, you shared it in the chat.
Yes.
11th of August. I believe you said August 21st, right?
Sorry?
You want to do by August 21st.
But Shriram, the timings were not good for 21st. And then other dates I was getting for September. Then after there was no date in August. Yeah.
So August 11th you're doing. So you have with you this week and next week, 2 weeks are there. So you have taken 2 full exams, 3 full exams, right?
I have taken 2 full exams. Third I'm giving today. And 40-60 questions. So I'm giving I'm giving frequently. That is
frequently. Okay, that's fine. So Pallavi, what is the time now?
So it's 1 here, 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay. Now I'm asking is what is your main exam time?
Main exam time is 11:15 a.m. Starting from 11:15 a.m. Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to see how you can work out on the same exam time. Okay, it's okay. Do it today. But are you getting distracted when the full exam is happening? Are you getting phone calls or family? You want to work out? You're doing something there?
No, Shriram. Like last mock, I was I was freezed in the second half of the question. Most of the questions which are incorrect were the 70 to 140 around that. Those questions. I couldn't understand. I thought I don't know anything about it. I was in that situation.
Oh, okay. Above your head. Are you taking break in between for 60 questions?
Yes, I did take so for me, I was very good with the timing, but in the last mock,
Okay.
I mean I finished maybe 2 minutes before, but
Okay.
I took full time. I took both breaks.
Mm.
I was panicking, so I thought should I take a break. But then the third part of the exam, last 7 days, there I could score better. The first part and the third part was better, but second part was very bad for me.
Understood. See, one thing with this exam is the more you fear, the more mistake you do. This is a management exam. It is not more like equations or mathematical formula, which you remember and you can recall. Here it is a thinking process. When we shiver, as you rightly said, it was sweating for you. When you start doing that, what happens is our brain instinct will not judge correctly. It will start doing mistakes. When you stay relaxed, it works better. It's easy to say, hard to do. How to stay relaxed is, that's why I asked the time of your, what's your time right now, what are you going to do the exam? Before you start the full exam, give enough preparation. Maybe you have to see some notes, whatever you noted down already. You have to see doing mistakes and you should know how to overcome those mistakes. You have to take 1 hour time to do all this analysis. Maybe you go for a walk, take a good shower, have good food, relax, and then go to the exam as if you're going for the main exam. And keep your room closed, no disturbance for 4 hours of time. And think it's a real exam. And follow the exact format. 60 questions, take a break, come out, drink something, again another 60 questions. Exam writing is one portion. The preparation and the way we think exam is very important. Dress properly, sit properly, and make your room comfortable. You have to do this because our brain cannot work just like that. It needs that pampering. You have to pamper your brain to believe it's a real exam. You have to give enough time for a brain to think. If you do that, beyond that, scores goes down, fine. That is why you do root analysis. You want to see, am I not understanding the subject? Rightly you said, after 70th question is getting blank, could be a reason you don't understand the vocabulary at all. Could be you didn't read that chapter or you read it, but it is not in your mind now. That is the other portion. First, when you write an exam, make it as a real exam. I sometimes see some of the professionals, for example, if you see some people working from home, even when they work from home, they have a proper office setup. The reason is only when you do that, your brain can focus well. So if you're doing already, I'm happy. If not, see if we can make that also good so that you don't feel that shivering. Now, coming back to your point, since you have 11 days with you, please read that glossary. There is one thing which you have to do, spend time. Glossary is available in PMBOK 6, PMBOK 7, Agile Practice Guide. If you go to these last pages, you will have some content. Please read that. That's pretty important. Other area I would expect you to do is when you're doing short exams, don't quickly jump to next short exam until you clearly understood all the questions in one exam. It is so tempting. Imagine you got an exam, you scored 58%. You'll go for a break, maybe you go for a cook and you have a food, you took a shower, your brain is keep on thinking, why? You will think, let me give one more shot. Without sharpening the axe, how many ever time you cut the wood, the tree will not cut. You need to sharpen your axe. The sharpening axe time is between one exam to another exam. That's very important. Many people, what they do is they took an exam without a sharp axe. They quickly go to next exam. You may think some jackpot will happen. It may, but many times it won't. So please spend time to analyze the question. By doing this, what will happen is your fear of a failure starts going down. Your confidence level starts going high. Right? I'm sure you're doing all this process and just reiterating for your benefit. And next thing is I have given you some bullet points. Are you able to read those points?
Yes, Shriram, I'm following on those points. Yes.
Very good, very good. Keep me posted regularly because I'm seeing your third exam or second exam. I didn't see your third exam score. Okay, you're doing today. So share me your score. I want to make a close look with your scores. Please post me regularly.
Okay, Shriram. Yeah. Thank you.
Good. Good wishes, Palani. Keep up the momentum. All right, guys. So what I do is I'll take another question and then I come back here. When I say another question, I have another question to share. Are you seeing the screen what I'm sharing now?
Yes.
All right. Read this question. Give me your choice. I'm seeing answers going with the D mostly. Let me see. Oh, most of them D. Okay. Can I assume that there are some people who here who have not worked in Agile or not working in Agile? Anyone here? Anyone here?
Yes, Shri.
Yes, Shri.
Yes, myself here.
What's the given answer as a D here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. So let's read the question. Which of the following tools help a team to micro commit to each other? It's a human being, people to people commitment. Uncover problems, ensure work goes smoothly. Here, if you watch out, here the commitment is within the team members, and we are not committing with the senior manager. We are not committing with the customer. It's not with the customer. It's not with the sponsor. It's not for the release. It's not with the senior management. It's a commitment within ourselves. When I say ourselves, an agile team. What could be the agile team size? Any approximate number?
3 to 9.
8 to 10.
3 to
3 to 9.
3 to 9. 3 to 9 people plus 3 to 9 people plus you will have 2 people. Who are the 2 people?
Product owner.
Product owner and Scrum Master. 2 people could be there. So the commitment is within them. When the commitment is within the team, not with the senior management, can anyone tell me elimination technique? Which one you would remove? Elimination. Can we eliminate charter straight away?
Yes.
Gone. And we are not talking about requirement of project. So B also goes away. So now there are 2 answers here. One is retrospective, one is daily standards. Now these 2 can have competition to one another. Now what is retrospective? What is daily standard? If we understand this, answer comes better. Retrospective happens only end of each iteration or a sprint to look how things went on. Maybe every Sunday I can retrospect that I took enough care for my health, for my knowledge, for all the people around, retrospecting myself, what I'm doing. Retrospecting as a team, how we performed every iteration. Whereas a daily stand-up, it's a place where you meet, the word says daily, very frequently. Now, in this too, which will be more powerful when you really want to solve a problem and when you want to micro commit? Is it end of every iteration or every day?
Daily
Every day.
every day.
Every day makes a little more better sense, right? Because our sprints and agile iterations could be 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Definitely, retrospective is a place to check and improve the process. We cannot deny that. But in retrospective, we won't make micro commitment. We talk about how can we improve the process. And we have some commitment to say, going forward, in case if this process can be improved, we will do it. Whereas daily stand-up is a commitment as a team, how to solve the problem, how to move towards something called a sprint goal. To everyone aware that every sprint will have a goal or every iteration will have a goal. You agree to that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the goal. I used to give this example, right? The American Express bank, they want to do something, a login page, user ID and password. The goal is to make a user ID password work within 10 days of time. That's a goal. For this goal, this team of 3 or 9 people committing to themselves how they can work together, how they can go through the problems. So the message is you look out for commitment with the team, and that happens on the daily. So now if you look at here, our teams use a stand-up to micro commit to each other. You have to be very careful each other, not to senior management. Retrospective, on the other hand, are held at discrete time intervals. It could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whenever the work is completed, do a retrospective. Okay, now question to people here. How many of you following daily stand-up in your projects? Anyone following daily stand-up?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, Shri.
Now, this is daily stand-up happening like a process, or people really utilize it? Because even though we call it as agile, sometimes daily stand-up happens like a status quo. Is it happening that way?
yes, Sri. We discussed the board, the tickets on the board, and we see what is the any challenges to complete that, or what is, are we on track? That's what we discuss more on that.
Okay. Is it discussion place, or is it every team member says how things moving? Any help needed?
Each team member will tell their status of their tickets, assigned tickets. So, for example, there are specific under BA validation, in progress tickets, to do tickets. So we in the board majorly 4 categories. So
Okay.
we discuss each of the categorization, and under each of the categorization, people have their own ticket. So we they will tell the status actually.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Abdul, I will ask you one question. Which domain you're working for?
Banking industry.
Nice to know. In banking, digitalization?
Yes, Shri. It's about a cloud transformation project.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Thanks, Abdul. That's the answer there. I appreciate that. Let's go to Niranjan. Listen to Niranjan.
Actually, in our daily huddle, what we do is that we start with one good thing which has happened with everyone. So one by one we speak. Then we speak about the work we did yesterday, and we speak about what work we have today, and we raise any stuck-ups are there. So that's it. That's the like 30-second or max 1 minute we take for that.
Is it something time pressure? People don't disclose any like this?
No, actually, this is pretty much like a short summary of the things we discuss.
The time we have is sufficient.
Yeah, the time we feel that it is sufficient, and if we require like any stuck-up is measure and that needs attention, we discuss that after the daily meeting is done.
Okay, because in the name of time constraint, we should not push people. Okay, enough, stop talking. We can't do like that, right? People has to talk what they want to say.
Right.
All right, good. Now, do anyone have a question to share over the screen? Poonam, you have a question?
Yes, Shri, I can share my screen.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Just give me. I hope my screen is visible.
Yep. Question number 5.
Yeah. So I just taken screenshot and prepared a Word document. Otherwise, during the discussion, then I keep scrolling up and down. I forget the question.
Appreciate the process improvement.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So I'll read the question first. A project manager discovers that there is an issue with some of the project documents on a hybrid. The team is on the 3rd iteration of this project. How should the project manager handle the situation?
Project manager discovered that there is an issue with some of the project documents on a hybrid project. The team is on the 3rd iteration of this project. Handle the situation. Okay, this is on the document, not on the deliverable. Okay. Okay. Yeah, please go ahead. Why you chose B as an answer?
Yeah. So first, I'll explain my process, the way I went it with the elimination part also. So this is a hybrid project, so which will have a flavor of agile and predictive both.
Sure.
And with agile and the business value part, that's where I got more. I selected the option B because it's not that document is not immediately impacting. So I don't need to ask my team to start acting on it, and hence I'll prioritize it based on the business value.
No, that makes sense. I go with your point of business value because that's why when I read the question, I understood it's a document, not on the deliverable.
Exactly.
When deliverable, your team is focused.
And what I got confused more is with the correct answer given here, because it was like fix the issue immediately fix the issue independently of the team. So which I felt that it's not correct, that how first of all fixing it immediately without even connecting it with the team. And when I read the explanation, it mentions that the issue deals with administrative work. Now, that is where I required this discussion, that where am I missing that part in the question reading, that how does one understand that this is related to a administrative work and not any technical document.
Okay, let's go like this way. Say it's a hybrid project. Let's put some example. Let's take Lenovo ThinkPad. Okay, ThinkPad project team, ThinkPad X model. They want to come up with a hardware. Also, they have to make a software for this particular ThinkPad. Now, it's a hybrid project. When I say hybrid, some portion will be planned to bring up a 15-inch screen with the corporate laptop design readiness. Parallelly, the team will be working on iterative model to make a better software to make this hardware work efficiently. Two things going to happen. And you are the project manager. In this kind of project, there will be a lot of documents, including stakeholder register, could be something a risk register, could be on scope, schedule, multiple documents keep running. One day, you as a manager discover that there's an issue in the documents. We don't know which document. Whatever document, it's an administrative document. Document means it's for administration. It doesn't mean administrative document is different. Other documents are meant to administer the project. Now, what happened is, the question is, do I need to involve my team to solve this problem, or there is a possibility I can handle it? The main point here is we as a manager, we definitely have to share the information with the stakeholders. When I say stakeholder, in our classes, we learned bigger bubble, small bubble.
Yes.
Bigger bubble is many people outside the circle who want to get information about what is happening. Inner circle could be your team members who actually work on the project. Both of them have to get the information. You cannot stop them. But as a team, in some places, they may not need to involve in documentation process, which could be done by delivery managers, product owners, product managers, team lead. These are the people who can do that process, because that is not a greatest value addition for the project. It's only for admitting the project. When it comes to value addition work, creative work, which is a knowledge work, that I involve them. This is not a creative or a knowledge work, but this information should be shared with them. I agree with you. The information should be shared. But for that reason, I will not call the 11 team member to my conference room, make them to sit with me, open my laptop, connect it on the projector, open that particular Excel sheet, and start typing in front of them. Will you like that?
No, maybe where I interpret in a different way, because maybe in the company that I work in, on the type of work we do, and because I also come from a technical background, whenever I hear the word document, I could not differentiate in my mind whether it's a technical document or it's a administrative document. So that's where maybe I couldn't do the differentiation.
Okay.
Because document will be document. It could be any, like I work in the pharma sector. It could be some method or some impurity details or some document related to that. Also be that document. But maybe the term project document, I should read it and understand it.
Yeah, I agree with your point, because in this question, they didn't explain that point. It left very openly project document. What document they didn't explain?
That's why
I understood.
Okay,
Let's use elimination technique. By elimination technique, D, document the risk and hold a meeting to brainstorm solutions. Not needed. A, have one of your team member document any risk in the project. That is also not good.
Yes.
When come to B, base the necessity of updating project documents on their business value. Updating necessity of updating documents, nice. What you try to say here is you are going to update the document only on need basis. That's what you're meaning here.
Yeah, maybe there is something urgent which has to be catered just now. So it's not like, if I don't update document today or tomorrow, something will get immediately impacted. So that's how I'll prioritize it.
Okay, and that also makes sense. See, something missing in this question is what document is getting updated.
Exactly. Maybe that.
Okay, I see your point, but since it's a hybrid, if I put an example of Lenovo ThinkPad, I'm giving that to manager to do the job.
I'll just take one more question. I had few pasted here. During project execution, a key stakeholder is replaced with a new team member who has approval authority. The new team member states that the project deliverables are not aligned with the design and does not approve them. However, a few weeks later, the project manager learns that the new team member had not been informed of the changes during execution. What should the project manager have done to avoid this miscommunication?
Okay. What's the catch in the question? What is the key for you?
Yeah, so there is a key stake. So when I read this question, I understand it that there's a key stakeholder who has been replaced with a new team member. And the new team member is not aligned. And
Not aligned. That's the
Yeah,
point.
not aligned. And a few weeks later, so the actual problem statement is that the project manager learns that the team member had not been informed of the changes during execution.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
I understood this question. So there is a communication gap which is happening because the stakeholder has not, the new team member has not been informed of the changes.
Hmm.
And to avoid this, so go by elimination. So I was like, I right away eliminated,
Okay.
organized a meeting with the sponsor before execution began.
Okay. Let's put some example here.
Huh.
Let's take an example of an automobile organization.
Huh.
There is a John, there is a David. Now, there is automobile project work is happening. Some new engine or new design of body design of the car is happening.
Huh.
During project execution, a new body design for a heavy vehicle is happening. The key stakeholder is replaced. The new team member who has approval authority. John, David comes in. Okay. John is a key stakeholder, goes out. David comes in. The David is also having good approval authority. The new team member states that the project deliverables are not aligned with the design and does not approve them. Now, the body design of the heavy vehicle, right, are not aligned. When they say not aligned, aligned with the what?
Aligned with the agreed upon scope and acceptance criteria.
Okay. So you mean something we discussed earlier, which is not equating with what we're doing now. One is not equal to one. That's not happening here. Okay, that's what David is complaining. Because of that, David is not approving it.
Correct.
Very good. Now that we got clearly. So there is a heavy vehicle body design for the automobile, and for which David is expecting this to be there, but it is not aligned. 1 is equal to 3. That's what we're showing here. And he is not happy about it and is disapproving. However, a few weeks later, the project manager learns that David, the new team member, had not been informed of changes during execution. Now, informed of changes. What changes?
Of the originally agreed scope and the accepted deliverable.
Okay. So now point is, in this question, they're asking, first, there is a change of human resources people. Okay. And there is some change, which even though the question not fully elaborated, there is some change has happened in the project. If you read the last one sentence, a few weeks later, the project manager learns that the new team member had not been informed of changes during execution. When the project design of body design is happening, that changes has not been informed. So the David is looking at different document or not getting a proper information, because of which there is a disapproval is happening. Possible. Yes,
Sri, the project charter is not under the control of the project manager. Right?
That was one of, because exactly why I didn't select that option is because the sponsor will, and also maybe my lack of understanding, but my understanding was that project charter once approved, it does not the project charter does not have a version number. Maybe my lack of understanding.
Yeah, you're good there. I go with Abdul and Poonam, both of them what he said now. I'll address the points. Now, first point to address here is project manager cannot directly update the charter. That's very clear. But the project manager can initiate the process. The project manager can take responsibility to get it updated. Definitely the sponsor has to update it, because sponsor is a person who knows, who has authority to change the project charter. Answering the question with the Poonam, project charter can also have changes. It is not written on the stone that you cannot change. That could be a change, but that will have super impact on the project. When you touch a charter, that's the highest document.
Correct.
You change there, the whole reflection will be super high. But I'm so surprised with this answer, why they want to hit the charter straight away. But no answer.
Sri, one question. Sorry. Deliverable against with the charter. Okay. From the charter, we, the scope and the deliverable there comes, right? So it is the deliverable, how it can have the impact of the project charter, because it has the business case and the, business definitions, all those things. So deliverable with respect to the deliverable and the charter, is there any like updating it? Will it affect? Will it make any changes? That's what.
That's a good question. Have you seen the charter template? One of the in PMBOK 6 or 7 or in Rita book, when you go and see the charter, there'll be something called high-level deliverables.
Yes.
It will have a high-level description of the project. So we are watching out, is there anything high-level deliverables mentioned is mapping, but not always charter is the right choice. Because this question is giving that answer, we have to go for it. If not, you may not always fetch a charter. For that reason, I'm going to come to the answer. I got the answer, but Pune was chosen. Updated the stakeholder register to include the new team member. Because of this, miscommunication cannot be solved. Yes, I go with this number. Go with the addition of new team member. I can note down his or her name and talk about them, what they're expecting, what sort of communication is needed, all good. But that alone will not solve the problem. If you go with answer A, organize a meeting with the sponsor before execution begins. That's not going to solve it. C, ask the previous stakeholder to hold a meeting with the new team member before leaving. That looks a little better. You can communicate. The guy, John, who left the organization should have discussed, could have solved some. But the whole question is talking about execution. When the work is happening, some changes are coming in, but the new guy is not getting it, which means in the stakeholder register, the name would not be entered properly, could be the reason. Or the person is not getting all the details because the plan is not updated with him. Both are possible. But I'm not super happy with this answer because updating the charter is not the day-to-day job. It'll happen once in a while. However, in this question, there is an answer, and that answer talks something relevant to changing on the charter. We are going for it. If not, it could be on the release plans. If not, it could be on the WBS updates. If not, it could be a backlog updates. If not, it could be some release level deliverables information. That could be there, but not always a charter. Yeah. But what is it from Poonam or other person here, Abdul? Charter is not an easy document everyone can touch. That's the right choice, what you say. And however, project managers can initiate the process.
Clear. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, Sri. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Good ask. Good questions. I have Niranjan answer up there. Hey, sorry, Poonam, you have further more discussions?
I had one or two more questions, but I'll have to give chance to everyone. So I'll cover it up later. No problem.
That's good.
Yeah.
Let's go to Niranjan.
Hi, Shri. Actually, I'm on mobile, just sharing the screen. Okay. Actually, this is the question.
Properly. Is it me?
No.
I'm not hearing you clearly. There's a break in your voice. Is anyone hearing him clearly?
There is a disturbance.
Yeah,
we can't hear clearly.
I feel like you are in a pub talking to me.
Hello, am I audible now?
You are out of the pub. You can.
Okay, screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So there is a question, a project manager for a construction firm meet with stakeholders. All stakeholders agree on a 20-month life cycle for a project. After work has begun, the project manager learns that stakeholders would like project completion within no more than 16 months. Which step should project manager not take? In this, with the elimination technique, A and B, we can straight away eliminate, negotiate with the stakeholders to reduce the project requirement. We can always negotiate that. Add team members to work more quickly. We can do that to reduce the timeline. The C also reduce the scope and crash the schedule. That I also felt we can do that to like reduce the timeline. And the D, advice against modifying the timelines. So if like stakeholders wants to reduce the timeline, why the project manager would advise him against modifying the timelines? If there are like in the question, there are no problems as such given. If we modify the timeline, that could happen.
All stakeholders agree. Okay, let's go with some question keywords. What is the key in the question?
It says that all 20 months life cycle.
See, first they have 20 months life cycle. Okay.
Right.
After the work has begun, the project manager learns that stakeholders would like project completion within no more than 16 months. From which means from 20 months now they move to 16 months mindset.
Correct.
Question is, which step should the PM not take? First, let's understand this way. What are he can take to bring from 20 to 16? What are you can do? So tell me what all you can do from A, B, C, D. What is possible to do?
We can negotiate with stakeholders to reduce project requirement.
Fantastic, that's right.
Can be done. We can add new team members to do work more quickly.
That's also possible.
Yeah. And we can also reduce the scope and crash the schedule.
Reduce the scope. So already you said in A, negotiate with stakeholders to reduce the requirement. That is mutual. When you say reduce the scope, you are doing on your own. Do you think it's right? Negotiate makes sense. You're talking with your stakeholder. Reduce scope is yourself reducing something. Let's hold this answer. Let's not go faster on it. Reduce the scope is something you are just, there are 24 requirements to deliver. You are thinking, since they asked to deliver early, instead of 24, let's make it 20.
Right.
And crash the schedule. What crash means here?
Means squeeze the schedule.
Okay, what is crash and fast tracking?
Adding the resources.
Yeah.
Crashing means adding people.
Right.
Okay. So what we hear is you're going to cut down some work. You're going to add more people. When you add more people, more money is needed. Okay, let's hold the answer C. Now, so far we found A and B looks better. Let's see D. What is D talking about?
Advice against modifying the timeline. That
Why?
means PM is saying, yeah.
They said 20, they agreed with 20, now they go to 16. You can ask the question, why do you want to reduce it? So,
sorry, come again.
E looks good, D is competitive. In C and D, which is much value adding? Is it C value adding or D value? Advice modified timeline. You're talking to them, guys. We agreed for 20 months because you said 24 requirements to be done. And we know that there are some government approval has to be done. We know that there are some material to be imported. Now, completing in 16 months, it's very crucial. You can talk about it. Whereas when you say reduce the scope, when I say scope, it does not mean the requirement. Scope means, if you read the chapter clearly about the scope management talks both project and product. You remember that bubble? bigger bubble, small bubble in the class.
Yeah, right.
You are shrinking the whole thing. That too, straight away the line reduced. It could be something a little dangerous. Whereas I go with the answer A, negotiate with stakeholder. That's also fine. But reducing straight away is not a good advice. Anyway, let's see the justification. What they given there.
Yeah. This is the justification they are given. If it is possible to reduce the requirements for the project with sponsor and key stakeholder, this is the preferred over crashing. Fast tracking, change control, and other methods which will most likely increase risk and create issue with shortened time frame.
So that's why I asked the question, what does crashing mean? That crashing means making or bringing the time lesser. But how do you bring the time lesser? By adding more resources. When I say more resources, any involvement happens. Also, crashing comes with its own risk. Crashing means you add people, the people can bring more risk as well. Now, out of all these choices, they're asking you which one is not taken, or I will put this way, which one is the least preference? I will negotiate. I will even add teams to work more quickly, or I will advise them why you should not change the time. But reducing the scope and adding the crashing, even though it's doable, I will keep it as a last choice.
Okay, you mean to say that if it says negotiate to reduce the scope and crash the schedule, that might make sense, since we are like taking it an independent decision.
Could be that is one way of looking. Say we use a negotiate. Negotiate means what? You give one, you give one negotiation, right? When you use the word negotiation, you are, I will get some benefit and you will get some benefit. That's called negotiation. You negotiate. Whereas when you crash, you straight away implementing something without any benefit on it, which is going to burn on your pocket. Also, in crashing, you take more risk because new team members are coming in who may not have knowledge on the subject, which could be a problem also. But again, yeah, you cannot tell all the time it's a problem. But in this question, that goes as the least answer. I'm not saying it's bad. I will keep it as a last one.
Yeah, because question does not indicate any risk or anything related to the project that we should think of. Hence, I was thinking that if like stakeholders are also like in favor of doing it, so they are having an idea about the project also. And why would project manager will advise against modifying timeline if like all the stakeholders are, most of the stakeholder, not all the stakeholders, the question says, but the stakeholders are willing to like crash it down to 16 months instead of 20 months. So why would project manager will advise to modify against modifying timelines if like there is no risk involved, as the question itself says?
As a team, we all are for a schedule based. The schedule baseline says, guys, we have to complete 24 features, which will consume 20 minutes of time. And after 1 month, these guys are coming back. We don't have 20 months, reduced to 16. While we are discussing as a team, all are for 20. Now suddenly they're saying come to 16. And I am as a project manager has all the rights to advise them. We were sitting and discussing, well, agreed 20. Now suddenly you're coming to 16. I have the advice. I can give that because I am the project manager, right? I have the whole responsibility. I can do that. You cannot say that because paying the money, I obey whatever they say. I can question them back. I can also do C. I'm not denying that. I can also do C. But C, I will keep it as the least choice. Even though no other go will go there. No other go will go there. But you try other options. That's what the message.
Okay.
But you don't think as a manager you will not talk. You can talk because your name is given the chart. When the project fails, everyone pinpoint you. You should have said to me also.
Okay. Right. Okay.
That's possible.
Yeah, possible. Yeah.
Amazing, yes. Good questions. All right. There's a good discussions going on. I have one question to discuss. Can I share that? Here's a question. Okay, I'm seeing A and C. Both are happening. A and C. C. I got to one more C there. Okay, let me read the question for benefit of all. Your organization has recently adopted agile practices and all new internal projects are being managed. New internal projects using agile methods. If you want to compare the performance of 3 projects, let's imagine A, B, and C. 3 projects are there. You want to compare it. Which of the following measures cannot be used? Cannot. You cannot use this for measuring. Now, I'm seeing answer A. I'm seeing answer C. Let me ask this question with the people who marked C. Why you thought C cannot be used to measure? First of all, in the project, do you think there is something called actual cost exists, whether it's predictive or adaptive?
But then, Sri, we are comparing the process, right, of adopted by this projects.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
But we're trying to compare the process, right, between these 3 projects.
Not process. They want to compare the performance. It is here.
Performance, yes, yeah. So
when you say performance,
how it is getting executed or something
exactly,
like that.
Exactly. When you say performance, performance can be measured against time, money, quality. You agree for that?
Yeah.
How do you measure the performance? Let's see what happens. Let's imagine you bought a new Innova SUV. Somebody bought a new Hyundai SUV. Now you want to compare performance. What is the performance comparison? You will see its cost involved, how much maintenance cost involved. You may see what is the speed. You may see how much of time it takes to do certain things. So when I say performance, you see how it is giving a return to you. That's what you see performance. Now I see.
When you take cost, Sri, like you said, 2 vehicles or 3 vehicles you're comparing. You're going to compare within the same segment, same price range, correct? Okay. So that way, internal projects also, we're going to take projects of the similar size or budget. So the cost is negated, right? We cannot compare a very huge budget project with one running with a small one, right?
That's why they say all 3 new internal projects. They put all one category. So they don't want to give it 2 different categories. One is external project, one is internal project. Then there is a lot of difference. Your point is highly valid. That's why I said all new internal projects. Internal means could be something for your own company.
Any budget could be there. Okay.
More or less close to each other. It would be so perfect, but some close to each other. Now you can imagine through this question, all 3 projects are close to each other. Now, the intention of this question is they want to see, do you understand the difference between SPI, CPI, actual cost, percentage of completion, and velocity? Now I'll go with the people who said A as answer. Why you thought A is an answer? What is it?
Sorry, should we come back again? What was the question?
Why we thought A is an answer?
Because okay, from the agile perspective, looking at the answers, velocity is one of the metric what we use. Yes. It should not be compared between the projects. Actually, it is more compared within the project for each sprint. So how the sprint, the future sprints, the prediction of the future sprints based on the velocity, and not compare the project to project, because each project has their own complexity, and the nature of the requirement is different. So velocity is, should not be considered for the comparing the performance of the projects.
But that's a good point. Thanks for that. I heard one more voice.
No, actually, this is Player. Actually, this SPS, Federal Performance Index, and then Cost Performance Index belongs to this predictive analysis, right? So in agile methodology, we used to measure the things by velocity only. I feel the 20 points, 2 points, 5 points, like that.
Agile also. No one stops it. You can use it, but industry is not using it. But if you want, you can use SPS, EPA for agile project also. You can, but many companies are not preferring it. But you can use it. Now,
and also on this, sorry, go ahead.
Please proceed.
Yeah. Also, I didn't get the name, but to your point, velocity, yes, agreed, is used in agile, but it will be for a particular project. Different sprints, I may use velocity to compare, but between different projects, that's how I've understood that velocity is not a good measure for using, because as explained earlier, each project has its own complexity, user stories.
Perfect. Now, let's get the question. So the question, first thing that's set up clearly, as I just heard now, hey, how can I compare the projects? Because they put all our new internal projects, which means close to each other. Now, you can compare the outcome. You can compare the performance of time, money parameters, or percentage company. But you should not use velocity. The reason is, velocity is a completion rate of your team. And it varies between, it could be same project given to different companies, but still the velocity will vary. A team will tell that's 20 points they've completed. The another team will tell 15 points completed. Now 20 is bigger or 15 is bigger as per Agile.
20.
20 looks bigger, right? But what if team has done 20 points work completed, but that is not giving a great benefit as an outcome? Let's imagine same example of American Express Bank. In American Express Bank, team has completed work item which is equivalent to 20 points or 20 days of work. When the team completed this, the work is to show some background image advertisement of a bank new loan system that has been come on 20 points. Another team who took 15 points to complete, but now they implemented two-way authentication system for the bank login. Now, which one is high value? Is it the background screen is high value or two-way authentication is high value?
Authentication.
It purely depends on the need. Now, because somebody says a 20, because somebody says a 15, doesn't mean 20 is high, 15 is low. A team did it 15, but more important work they delivered. A team delivered 20, maybe less important work. So comparing velocity by number doesn't mean you can tell a team done a great job, a team done a poor job, because it's purely a knowledge-based work. In knowledge-based work, velocity shows you how much team is completing, but you cannot use it for comparison. It is very team specific. It is a very project specific. Whereas when it comes to SPI, CPI, it starts showing something about the money you spend to complete the work, the time you spend to complete the work. That has a little bit comparison. Even though rightly Pallera was pointing out, in agile projects, they are not preferring to use CPI, SPI very heavily, but still they want to make you to understand through this question, velocity is a key part. That's a message. All right, I'll put the end up here. I have Abdul hands up there. Abdul, your question?
Yes, Sri. Yeah. 1 minute, Sri. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Do you see my screen?
Visible?
Okay. The question is 34th question. Okay. Most of an agile team members are away for a month, but the project needs to make progress. The project manager outsources the work to overseas contractors to work remotely on the stories. In their first sprint, the overseas team did not understand certain usability requirements, but still managed to complete 5 stories that were previously blocked because the original team could not handle the algorithmic complexity of the work. What should the project manager do in the situation to make progress on the project? Based on this, Sri, I have chosen the option B. But the option is the right choice is C, actually.
Okay. What's the key in the question?
The question is like the project manager outsources the work because of the unavailability of few resources. The project manager outsources the work to overseas contractor to work remotely. In their first sprint, the overseas team, they have the skill set of they didn't do the usability requirement, but they were able to manage some of the features which are handled by the algorithmic complexity. Okay, so based on this, what the project manager can take a decision or do in this to make the progress on the project. So I thought the reason why I chosen B is I thought since this is both onshore and offshore teamwork, the usability, in terms of the usability requirements, the overseas team cannot handle it. Few of the those features can be assigned to the remaining local team members to make the progress.
Okay. All right. So your answer goes to assign all the usability stories to the remaining local team members. You want to go all the usability stories. Why you thought you want to give all to them?
Because all the user, because the overseas team, they did not understand certain usability requirements.
The first sprint, the overseas team. Okay, first are we understanding what is overseas and what is here?
Overseas is a virtual team.
Remotely. Let's imagine you are sitting in Australia and you're giving a work somewhere in Thailand. Okay. Yeah. So now, when you give that work to some other place, overseas is to Thailand. In their first sprint, the Thailand team did not understand certain usability requirements, but still managed to complete 5 stories that were previously blocked because the original team could not handle the algorithmic complexity. The Thailand team is technically sounding. So those understand, but they did it. Okay. The team sitting in Australia cannot do that. Now, the question is, what should the project manager do in the situation to make the progress on the project? Now, they're asking you, what do you do to move forward? Now, what I'm reading as an answer from you is, assign all the usability stories to the remaining local team members. Now, you understood your local team cannot do that. That's why you gave it to Thailand. And they also completed. They didn't understand properly, but they did a good job because they are specialists. Initially, that work was blocked by the team sitting in Australia with you. That's why you gave to Thailand. And they did it. Now you are saying that I will give all my work to Australia team. Now read the answer which you feel as a right answer.
Reprioritize the backlog to match the remote team skills.
Now, who is the remote team here? Thailand or Australia?
Thailand.
Okay. Now, Thailand team is a specialized team who works good on this algorithm. Even though they don't understand, but they complete 5. But you know Agile, how it works. In Agile, iteratively, incrementally, they improve. Is this true?
Yeah.
Now you start matching with them. That is what the answer says. Reprioritize the backlog to match.
Sri, I understand the context. What you're saying is understand. Reprioritization is mainly done by the product owner, right? It's not under the also the control of.
If that's the case, we don't have a project manager itself in Agile. Right? So they want to the PMI don't want to give up the manager. At the same time, they want to tell a project manager sits above all of these guys. Whenever they say reprioritize, you are not doing it, but you are driving it. You are taken that way.
Okay.
All right. You are driving the factor. Of course, what you're saying is right. Tell them.
Yes, Sri. One more question I have. Can I go ahead or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This is a question, 30-second question. A key stakeholder voices a concern during the planning stage about whether the available resources are adequate to meet the objective of the project. After further discussion about the requirements and the number of resources identified, the project manager is hesitant about the original plan. Which 2 steps should the project manager take next? Review the bounds of the negotiation for stakeholder agreement. Determine the project's ultimate objectives after carefully evaluating project priorities. Encourage in negotiations for more resources. Ensure that the impact of the shortage of required resources is fully documented. Reevaluate the project objectives. Review the planned activities and recalculate the resource needs. Actually, Sri, out of these options, the correct option is E and C. Engage in negotiations for more resources. I have chosen D and E. The reason is that it's in still the planning stage, and he is in a confusion. Okay, based on the feedback from the stakeholders or the voices of the stakeholder, the project manager is quite skeptical about his original plan, what he has made. So I have chosen reevaluate the project objectives, review the planned activities, and recalculate the resources needs. Ensure the impact of the shortage of required resources is fully documented as a risk. Okay, but
as a risk, where it is given as a risk?
No. Shortage of I thought it's a fully documented in the sense shortage of resource may come as a risk, right? In this context.
Yeah, your sense is right.
It is not explicitly mentioned here as risk. Okay, I thought it makes sense to document it. The right choices E and C. Engage in negotiations for more resources. The reason why I have not chosen this, since it's in a planning stage, the project manager has a control over of revisions, doing it unless until it is approved.
Look, I get your point. But one thing I'm reading the question here, Abdul. Last sentence. The project manager is hesitant about the original plan. Look like she's not happy with the plan. Okay. If I go with A, B, C, D, ensure that the impact of the shortage of required resources is fully down. I'm accepting it. Whereas C, E, I'm still negotiating. I'm still re-evaluating. I'm settled. If I go with D, I'm settling. At least to me, that's what I'm reading. I'm reading the question that the manager is not happy. You feel that?
Yeah, the manager is not happy.
Happy with the plan. Right? If you ensure the impact of the shortage, which means you're agreeing and you're documenting. Okay, I know tomorrow it will rain. You're writing in the document.
No, what I'm saying is that he has a control over changing the plan still, and why he has to go for the negotiation of the More resources?
No, this is the resource, right? When you say resource, you need money, you need approvals, which you cannot do individually. See, when they say engage and negotiate to more resource, with whom this guy is negotiating, he or she?
Maybe to the approval authority, like the management?
No. Look at the first sentence. A key stakeholder. In a project, when they say key, it may be even a sponsor. A key stakeholder voices a concern during the planning stage about whether the available resources are adequate to meet the objectives of the project. Somebody is raising a voice. Hey, are you guys comfortable with the resource what you have? Human, material, equipment? After further discussion about the requirements and the number of resources identified, the manager is hesitant about the original plan. Now, this manager also feels, oh my goodness, this is sufficient. Which 2 steps should the manager take next? They're asking you. And if I go with the answer A, B, C, D, yeah, looks good. I documented. But when I see C and D, I'm not settling. I'm still negotiating. In E, I'm re-evaluating the objectives. I know it's a very tricky question, but I feel C and E is not allowing me to settle, rather do some action. Whereas D is allowing me to settle, accepting, yeah, there is a shortage, let me note down on the paper. And that will not give me a positive move. That's my personal feel on this answer. Right. So your justification is you are fine B, but you're not the C. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't want to negotiate for more resource?
No, the thing is that if it says that the plan is approved, then it makes sense to revisit, and then it goes for the change control board where some sort of negotiations is required. But here it's not stated that it is not neither approved or but one keyword what I understand, it's still in planning stage.
Okay. Only the planning stage you can negotiate, right? Once it's agreed, it's so hard to negotiate. Because if you say ensure that the impact of the shortage is required, this was fully documented. Documentation is it's a one way of accepting, rather just taking any action on it. Only in the planning stage you can take some action. I feel that way, but still this is a very tricky question. You can go all the answers. I would say that's the right answer, but I feel I don't want to settle. That's the only choice for me.
Okay.
Imagine if I settle here, these guys will put everything on my shoulder. And they will tell that, man, you note it down. Now your responsibility. Solve it. Okay, right. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Good. Thanks a lot. I know time is running up here. What I do is there was some requests in the chat box. I think Akila was asking. Akila, did I miss to share the answer?
Yes, because you.
Yeah. Is it visible now?
Yes, Shri.
Right. It's a big answer. You can sit and read as a paragraph.
Yeah, thank you, Shri.
Right.
Shri, one question. SPA and CPA are also used in Agile projects, right?
You can. If you go to Mike Griffith's book, have you heard about Mike Griffith?
Sorry?
There is a book called PMI ACP book. This is for
okay.
But this book, chapter number 2, there is an explanation how to use SPI, CPI in Agile projects.
Agile projects. Okay, sure. Okay.
You can use it, but many companies don't use it.
Okay.
All right, guys, it was good meeting you all, and I believe the session was useful. And let's continue this process of listening to people, sharing some questions, and discussing. The intention of this discussion is to stay in the momentum and get your questions clarified. And I have requested some of you reach out to me directly in the WhatsApp. It's not only for them. In that your progress is over the WhatsApp. Sometimes there could be delay in my response. but please reach out. I'll be happy to help. Great. Have a nice Sunday. Enjoy the evening. We'll catch up again by next week.
Thank you, Shri.
Thank you, Shri.
Thank you all.
You all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Shri. Bye.
Bye.
You.